Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching and when you're watching. If it's Thursday, September 1st, you're watching us live. That's Thursday, September 1st of 2022, in case you're tuning in a year later or more. I'm Rudy Mack. Well, you never know, this is Facebook, and I guess it sits there forever, and it's on YouTube, and somebody could tune in 2 years from now and go, what are these guys talking about? You could tune in now and wonder what we're talking about. We're talking about travel. We talk about travel news periodically, a couple of days a week. I'm Rudy Maxa. I'm a journalist and a broadcaster who specializes in travel. Tommy Danielson, to my in the lighter blue sweater, I guess, is an expert on frequent flyer miles and hotel points and the travel industry generally. And as I say, 2-3 times a week, we get together and talk about what's in the news in travel. We've got a few short items for you today. I'll start with the news I read in the Wall Street Journal and elsewhere this morning that Delta and Air France and KLM, who you know are in marketing agreements together, you may know, beat out Lufthansa to buy the Italian airline that replaced Alitalia. It's called ITA, and ITA Airways, and that was the Italian airline that succeeded Alitalia, And so now it's going to be in the consortium with Delta, Air France, and KLM in all likelihood, along with a financing firm called Certaris. I've never heard of, Certares. Anyway, they beat Lufthansa by letting the Italian government keep 45% of the airline. Lufthansa only wanted them to be able to keep 20% of the stock. So if this goes through, it's not a signed deal yet. If it goes through, you will eventually be able, according to the articles I've read, be able to use your Delta miles or your Flying Blue, those are Air France/KLM frequent flyer points, to fly ITA. So I think that's good news.
I thought it was ITA Airways, like in Italy.
I've never heard anyone have to say it yet. ITA. I don't know. It's capital ITA, but I don't know how you pronounce it. Have you heard anyone pronounce it?
No, it's messy, the whole thing. I mean, Alitalia, after they took over from Alitalia, the routes and the plan or the lack of one, it's very Italian. They should stick to making wine and pasta and pizza and stuff like that, running airlines.
Do you think their new partners will bring a little more discipline to that?
They might, but, as you can see, the 45% of the company is still going to be owned by the Italian government. So
yeah, they're not going to run anything.
They stick their noses into anything, unions and all sorts of fun stuff. I think that it's, this is to do with regulations, right? There has to be ownership in, I don't know, European ownership or whatever, something in there supposed to be able to operate. It's messy. I mean, I think that governments should definitely stay out of running airlines. They have no clue how to do that, and it's messy, and the money just keeps flowing out. Alitalia was accumulatively has lost tens of billions of dollars throughout time. They've never been able to make money. ITA Airways or ITA Airways or whatever they're called. The distribution, since the airline was relaunched, it's difficult to get tickets. They don't show up in various things. It's priced wrong, and it's obvious that it's run by by the Italian government. And now the Italian government is going to be the group here, which is, so there's 40.1%, an USA based equity group, which is an investment company, and then 9.9% for Air France KLM. 5% is going to be owned by Delta, and the biggest shareholder will still be the Italian government, who will own 45% of it. So
I'm hoping they stay out of it. What do you got for news?
I've got an interesting chart I saw this morning. So Secretary Pete Buttigieg, he is freaking rocking and rolling for consumers, and they have made this nifty little customer service plan for how they're doing things and the policies that they've had for rebooking and for cancellations and controllable cancellations and things like that, and what airlines are doing the best and what airlines are not doing the best. So you can see for yourself what an airline will do for you. Rebook passengers on the same airline at no additional cost for a significant delay. Everybody except for Allegiant does that. Rebook passengers on another airline at no additional cost. American, Delta, JetBlue, and United does, and nobody else does. And that's one of the downfalls for Southwest. They've always kind of done that, force you to be. They've left me hanging out to dry a couple of times where it's cost me $1,000 from A to B. I was in North Carolina in Charlotte a couple of years back, and Melinda and I were at the airport, and the flight got canceled at the gate. And it was like, well, the first thing we have is in 2 days from now with Southwest.
That's with Southwest. Where can I find this chart? I can't see it.
It's on the new Department of Transportation dashboard. You just Google airline customer service plan is what it says in Gary's article here. So complimentary hotel accommodation for any passenger affected by an overnight delay. Everybody except Frontier and Allegiant. Even Spirit does that. And complimentary ground transportation to and from hotels affected by an overnight delay. Spirit doesn't do that. And so these are interesting things, to say the least. I think that it's really cool that the DOT are starting to cramp down on these profit-hungry airlines that was making billions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, billions of dollars each before the pandemic. And now they've been bailed out by us, the U.S. taxpayers. And now there's a system in place. And I think that's cool.
Okay, I couldn't find it by typing that in. I got all kinds of other gobbledygook. Look at that for chart.
Okay, let me find this and put it in the chat. I will do that. Let me do that when you talk. You can talk about the
your tourism coming back.
Wi-Fi on flights.
Oh yeah, this is from Scott McCartney used to do the middle seat columnist for the column for the Wall Street Journal, and he's been replaced with a new column called Carry On by Dawn Gilbertson, who just today, that would be Thursday today, September 1st, 2022, did an interesting piece on how Wi-Fi is getting faster and cheaper. You may have noticed that some for example, Delta announced that all their Wi-Fi is going to be $5, but if you got on certain planes, $5 anywhere you flew in the United States. But if you got in certain planes, you might be surprised to find out they're asking $39.95 to fly cross country and use Wi-Fi. That's because they're on an older system. They aren't on satellite on that particular aircraft. But Delta promised it'll almost always be $5. Alaska Airline has got a flat $8 rate on all their flights because they're on satellite. They plan to have satellite on almost all their planes by 2023. JetBlue has always had free high-speed Wi-Fi, and Delta, Alaska, and United are all promised to switch from dynamic, which is to say variable prices, to flat fee as soon as they get satellite on all their aircraft. So
United United started this a while back, and I think they started the trend with this. It's $10 if you are per flight, regardless how long the flight is. If you are not a member of their loyalty program, you don't have to have status or anything. You just need to sign up for free. So everybody sign up for free. You get a $2 discount, and then it's $8 for the whole flight. And if you have a United credit card, the Explorer card, you get a 25% off that. So you're down to $6. So, but the flip side of that is that I've taken 10, 12 United flights this summer, maybe a little bit more. I've taken about 20 United flights this summer, and the Wi-Fi has been garbage on all of them. I've
really
stopped buying. When I went to Denver last week, I didn't buy it because it was just, you sit there like a dumpski. It's even worse like the old days. So obviously, when you charge $6, if you have the credit card and you're a member of their loyalty program, $6, everybody's going to sign up for that. So what it can do, and what it can do well for United, is it doesn't do well with emails. It doesn't do well with with VPN. It doesn't do well with any of that stuff. But it does well with texting. So that's kind of the pitfall. You give a lot of more people access, and you give it a lower price, then we're talking about a rate. Of course, there are the newer ones that JetBlue has is better Wi-Fi. They need better Wi-Fi in order to do this. And many planes in the U.S. for old carriers still has the old system. And I think that's going to be challenging.
Yeah, it does vary by airline. I mean, Delta gives me free texting no matter what. But if I want to do anything other than text and on WhatsApp or whatever, I've got to pay.
And that's also what Southwest and United does the same thing. I don't know about American, but I don't think so.
Okay, so that's it on airline Wi-Fi. So check it out before, if Wi-Fi is important to you, find out what's going on your particular flight. And maybe you want to take a later flight or an earlier flight if they've got satellite instead of still trying to connect to ground stations.
Or go on your flight and enjoy a gin and tonic and read a book.
Exactly. And I just wanted to say something about Europe tourism. There was a piece in the Wall Street Journal a couple of days ago. This July and August, flight bookings to Europe from the United States have only been 6% below what they were in 2019 before COVID hit. So that's good news for airlines. They don't have as many flights, of course, but at least they're not way behind. And of course, they don't have as many people paying for business class, but at least the planes are flying a little more full. So that's good news for the airlines.
Yeah, is that an American tourist in the background there? Or?
It looks like it. It looks
there
like it.
There you go. So yeah. I only have a couple of things. There is a new Four Seasons that's opening soon in Tamarindo, Mexico, which is in Jalisco, a more quiet area. So we're talking about a secluded oceanfront property that looks to be really nice.
I think it's Jalisco, isn't it?
And finally, we're seeing some pool villas being a common thing in the Americas, which is typically something that you see in Asia. Very cool setup. This is obviously a rendering with various pools and various levels, kind of like Santorini, but with older hotels. So yeah, it's on the south of Sinaloa, and you fly into Manzanillo airport. So it's, it's a little bit of a challenge to get there, but that's what you need to do. It's about equal to get down a little bit shorter flights to get to Costa Rica to go to the coast there as well. So it looks like it is. I have not checked any prices yet. Maybe Lucky has. Yes, he has $795 for a $795 a night for a cliffside one-bedroom suite with infinity swimming pool. That is
$795 for one with a cliffside suite with what?
With an infinity swimming pool, private pool.
That's not bad for a private pool and a good sighting on a cliff. That's great. I mean, it's expensive, obviously, $800 a night, but it's also a Four Seasons, and you've also got a private infinity pool. Not too bad. Pretty good to know about.
I do like I do like the having a private pool is a thing. It is a thing, and when you've done it once, you'll always want to do it again. I mean, at the not that I hate people. Well, normally I do, but the vast majority of things, if you wanted to have full relaxation instead of battling a pool, if you want to swim laps, you go to the main pool. But if you wanted to sunbathe and just cool off, those plunge pools, I really enjoy them myself.
Hey, you step right outside your room. Good. All right, that's everything I got. 15 minutes.
Well, I got one more thing I want to talk about very quickly. We can save this for another day if you want to. What do you get as elite status for Four Seasons and Mandarin Oriental? You want to save that one for next time?
I didn't even know Four Seasons and Mandarin had any. I didn't know they had any frequent guest programs.
Well, we'll save that one for next time for sure, Rudy, and then we can talk about what's included in those things. Since we wanted to keep this under 15 minutes, we are now at 17 minutes, so I think we can save that one for next time.
When did they start frequent guest programs at Four Seasons?
We'll talk about that next time.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
Cliffhanger.
Remember, we're talking to you September 1, 2022. Go to maxatours.com and check out our small upscale European tours. We have only a couple places left for our Christmas market tours this year, but plenty of room for our 23 tours. Check them out. Bye, Tommy.
Giddy up.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy.